Welcome to CE Voices, a series of interviews brought to you by Chemical Engineering. These insightful conversations cover a broad range of topics that are of interest to professionals in the chemical process industries. This edition of CE Voices is being sponsored by Chemical Engineering's Sustainability Direct. To receive this monthly e-letter, please log on to our website at chemengonline.com.
Hello, I'm Mary Paige Bailey, Senior Associate Editor with Chemical Engineering Magazine. I'm here with Theodore Rolfvondenbaumen from Neste US, and we're going to be discussing Neste's sustainability strategy in the US. Where recently Neste acquired Mahoney Environmental, which is a company that does services in collecting cooking oils for renewable fuel. So Theodore, if you want to get started talking a little bit about the background about what Neste has been doing and where this kind of fits into the overall sustainability strategy of the company.
So Neste is a company that's in the business of fighting climate change and air pollution. Our role in that is to produce advanced biofuels from 100% renewable, sustainably sourced raw materials. These biofuels really are targeted towards the hard-to-abate sectors. Big rigs, trucks, cement mixers, things that are the engines of our global economy, things that power our lives and our quality of life, but are also very hard to electrify. So our goal is to make more of these advanced biofuels available so we can start this journey to reduce emissions and pollution, and also continue to improve our raw material supply chain so we have the necessary materials to continue making not only the volume that we do, but more and more down the road.
Excellent. So can you talk some about what sort of logistics and technologies go into making sure that you can efficiently collect these raw materials, since they're going to be coming from kind of diverse locations and they might be of varying purities, how you can ensure that that's going to go into an efficient production of the end product biofuels?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, just to share with you, Neste has been sourcing renewable raw materials from North America for a long time. And we see great potential to continue growing here. And I think that's underscored by our acquisition of Mahoney Environmental. The reason we're acquiring this company, the reason we acquired this company is because A, we already have a good, really positive relationship with them, and B, we see opportunities to work with them to scale and grow across their entire value chain. For Neste, what it means for us in terms of a raw material supply chain is that's really where the sustainability story starts. And we pride ourselves of having eyes on our renewable raw material end-to-end value chain every step of the way, from the moment we purchase it and it enters our logistics and supply chain, through processing and conversion into advanced biofuels, to the point where it gets distributed to our end users. And this is critically important for us because it allows us to verify that they are delivering the promised greenhouse gas reductions on a life cycle basis. They allow us to ensure that every fuel product we deliver to the market is premium and meets the necessary standards and requirements. And of course, it allows us to verify, most importantly, that they are actually sustainably sourced. There's a number of different tools we use on that. I don't think there's anything too bold or edgy or exciting. We just use some in-house mechanisms that allow us to fully verify and see exactly what's coming from where and keep our eyes on it across the entirety of our supply chain.
So are there facilities in the U.S. where this cooking oil is going to be processed, and can you discuss how making sure the cooking oil gets to the right place?
Yes. So for the first time for Neste, we are now going to be operating a large fleet of used cooking oil collection vehicles as well as pre-treatment facilities across the country, and we are able to do this through our acquisition of Mahoney Environmental. So we're really excited to bring those skills, bring those excellent people from Mahoney Environmental into the Neste family, because they've really got the competencies needed to do this safely, responsibly, and efficiently. And we're going to be working with them to capitalize and scale that. What Neste does is we purchase the used cooking oils once it's been pre-treated, and then we'll move that through our own value chain, either to storage terminals first in North America. We have some in Texas, New Jersey, and on the West Coast. And then from there, when needed, we will send them to one of our renewable raw material production facilities around the world, which will most likely either be in Singapore, the Netherlands, or Finland. That's where they're processed and converted into raw materials, and then we will bring those finished products back to the market. And about 30% of the renewable raw materials Neste produces ends up in North America. So we don't have any production capacity here in the North American market yet. We do have the pre-treatment facilities, we do have the supply chain to collect, aggregate, move, and distribute these raw materials across the country, get them to the right points in the coastal areas, and get them to the facilities where they can be processed into renewable fuels.
Excellent, thank you. And beyond the cooking oils, can you talk some about the trends that you're seeing in sourcing raw materials, whether it be the actual materials being used themselves or mechanisms for tracking and tracing to ensure that they are truly sustainably sourced?
I think the big thing for Neste is we're on a journey to continue to find the worst quality raw materials out there. And that probably sounds very weird and funny, but it's the uniqueness of our business model. We are a company that takes trash and converts it into treasure. And really that means upcycling the leftover carbon molecules and things like used cooking oil and things like grease and rendered animal fats, and turning that into products that can be used, and then recycling that same carbon from those fuels over and over and over again. So the best way we can add value to society in terms of fighting air pollution and climate change is to scale up our production, produce more fuels, but then find dirtier and dirtier waste materials that companies are, in other words, going to throw it to a landfill, purchasing those and then converting them into the fuels that go into engines. So we're on this journey. We've set a goal by 2025 to have 100% of our renewable products made from waste and residue materials, and we're continuing to research and develop new feedstocks that can enhance further the environmental and performance benefits of our products, things like algae, power to liquids, forestry waste and residues, even winter cover crops, stuff that doesn't compete with the food system and stuff that doesn't cause deforestation. So really that's the big thing for us, is how can we continue to drive down the life cycle carbon intensity of the raw materials that are going into our value chain.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And how does the company make sure that it's connected to the sources for these dirty raw materials that you may have a company that just has some waste material lying around that could be quite valuable? How do you make sure that you're finding those in an efficient manner and developing that network?
So we have a really strong renewable raw material supply chain team here in North America, and of course globally as well. They're dedicated to doing just that, continuing to look for and finding companies that we can purchase renewable raw materials from. The caveat for us is, before we make any decision, any company that we're going to do business with, any potential supplier, must meet our sustainability standards, and they're pretty strict. They are designed deliberately to ensure that anything we purchase from a supplier doesn't have impacts on human rights, doesn't have impacts negatively on land use, doesn't cause deforestation, doesn't cause anything that would disrupt lives and the community in a negative way. So we're really focused on that, and there are times when we've turned away potential suppliers with large volumes because they don't meet those standards. That's just a core thing for us, and I think it's really a big part of energy overall, but specifically advanced biofuels. If you're going to make these products, you have to verify where the raw materials come from, and you have to confidently and 100% be sure that they are being delivered and produced in the most sustainable, responsible way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any kind of emerging sources for renewable raw materials that the company is seeing across the industry?
I think for Neste, the key areas that are most exciting is really growing our waste and residue area. So things like used cooking oil are fantastic and wonderful raw materials. We can take them, prevent them from going into a landfill, and convert them into fuels. They've really got the kind of perfect makeup of what we need in a feedstock right now. So let's find more of it. And I think importantly, when we get more of that, we're also enabling everyday people to have a direct way to contribute to a circular and clean energy and transport system just by having somebody, taking a moment to Instagram and snack down on their favorite comfort foods, whether it's pizza, whether it's wings, whether it's hamburgers. They're now helping be a part of a sustainable future because the leftover materials from making those foods are going into products that can be used in our energy system and our transport system. Beyond that, I think the future is really things like algae, things like power to liquids, things like forestry waste. And we have in North America a project up in Canada to look at the commercial and technical viability of forestry wastes. And then again, things like winter cover crops. How can we work with farmers in wintertime when fields are fallow and not producing to create a new supply chain that adds value and revenue to them and creates a sustainable source of materials that can go into advanced biofuels or renewable raw materials to make plastics.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what's next on the horizon for Neste's sustainability goals in North America and also globally?
Yes, so in North America, I think our focus is really on three things. First, it's going to be about continuing to invest and grow to make it easier for customers to purchase advanced biofuels from us. So that means expanding our fueling stations in California, really helping grow the market in Oregon, where a low carbon fuel standard has recently been adopted. And we'll also continue to look to grow our renewable raw material platform. So we've just acquired Mahoney, and we're going through a journey to figure out together where, when, and how, and why we can grow effectively together. But we see a lot of opportunity to work collaboratively with them to source more renewable raw materials, more used cooking oil, more greases from industrial kitchens and other venues across North America. And then finally, really looking at more opportunities for circular solutions. We've got this great program with Oakland where we are, again, turning their local trash into fuels to power their local fleets. How can we provide this solution to other businesses in North America who want to recycle their own carbon footprint into circular solutions that can power their operations? And I think when we get those things right, we'll be really delivering a strong package of sustainable, viable solutions that can help companies reduce pollution, achieve their sustainable development goals, and do it in a way that doesn't require waiting 5, 10, 15 years down the road for potential someday solutions in this transport space. I'll also look a bit wider than just North America. We are continuing to move forward with the expansion of our renewable product facility in Singapore, expecting that to be completed in 2022, and that will significantly increase our production capacity both of renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel. We've announced a feasibility study for another expansion at our Rotterdam facility in the Netherlands, and of course we're still looking for our next big new build project. That's still in early days, but we're assessing a number of potential opportunities around the world. So growth is still very much the mindset for Neste when it comes to this. And it's all driven by the simple truth that businesses and governments are taking more action to reduce pollution and fight climate change. And our role is to make sure that they're enabled to do that with products that are available today and work.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Theodore, for speaking with me. It's very interesting to learn about Neste's work and what the next generation of biofuels and their sources will look like. So thank you very much.